Hi everyone, welcome to week 1. This is your first weekly announcement for Bio 105. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a couple of minutes going through the materials for this week and letting you guys know what is due and what you need to get set up for this first week. So hopefully everybody's had a chance already to look over the intro course materials, but if you haven't, let's take a look at where those are right now. So if you click on course materials here on Blackboard, my apologies. If you click on Learning Modules here on Blackboard and the Course Introduction folder, start here. So I opened the course a few days early. It was available at the end of last week, and I wanted to give you guys a chance to kind of look at some of this material first. So there's information here on how to get started in an online class, getting started with Connect. So we will be using the publisher-provided homework assistance site, which is called Connect. So when you purchase your textbook, you can either purchase the access directly through McGraw-Hill if you want. You can also get it through the bookstore as well. But all you really need is that access card, and that access card is going to enable you to sign up for the homework system to complete some of the assignments. So those instructions are very important. The other important piece of information in this particular folder is the Get Started with Blogging. So there's a video that will show you how to set up your blog and how to get started. There's also written information and instructions on how to get started with that as well, because that's one of the first assignments I'm going to be looking at is your blog this week. So speaking of assignments, let's go back to Learning Modules and let's take a look at what we've got going for week 1. So in week 1, we are talking about, we're going to be covering 2 different chapters, Chapter 1 and Chapter 2. Chapter 1 is and I guess actually Chapter 3. We've got lots of information this week. The first chapter is a brief introductory video. This is what the class is about. These are the types of topics we'll be discussing. So very brief, very introductory. Chapters 2 and Chapters 3. Chapter 2 is all about cells. And I've broken cells down into 2 different lectures. The first lecture is about the structures of cells, and the second lecture is about how cells divide. In addition to that information, we also have suggested materials and suggested resources. So these are things that you don't have to use, but these are things that I highly recommend that you use. So we have a animation on mitosis from a website called Cells Alive, which is really helpful. And then for Chapter 3, same thing. This is actually about a different type of process. This is called meiosis instead of mitosis. It's another type of cell division, but it is different. There are different types of cells involved. And there's also an animation that tells you sort of more about the process and explains it a little bit more than is just in the video. As far as assignments go, so there's always a link here at the top that tells you basically what's due and what you should be working on. So in addition to watching the lecture videos and reviewing the optional websites, you can start on the Connect assignments if you would like. I know some people don't have their books yet, so those Connect assignments aren't actually due until our first lecture exam, which you have about 3 or 4 weeks before that first exam goes, so you have plenty of time to get yourself that access code and get on to Connect. You also actually can get complimentary access, so even if you don't have a code right now, if you follow the instructions for sign up, you actually will get, I believe it's a free 14-day complimentary session. So if you don't have a code right now, it's okay. You can still work on the Connect assignments. I highly recommend keeping up with the assignments on a weekly basis and not waiting until right before the last lecture exam to do everything, because the work is going to pile up really, really quickly if you do that, and it would be really easy to get behind. But again, I understand some weeks are easier than others. Some weeks we have lots of time to get things done, and some weeks we have very little time to get things done. So find a schedule that works for you, but try not to get too far behind on these assignments. In addition to the Connect assignments, which are located here, they have sort of this little black file here next to them. You're also going to have a quiz. So that quiz is going to cover the chapters in this particular module. So this would be chapters 2 and 3. And that, again, the quizzes are not due until right before the lecture exam as well. But again, please don't wait until the last minute to do all of these assignments, because it's really going to help if you keep on top of these to keep all the knowledge straight. What is due this first week is your Module 1 blog prompts. So you need to make sure that this week, at the very least, you get your blog set up and you join my class, because you do have a graded assignment this week, which is responding to this prompt. And you also need to respond to one other student's prompt as well. So writing a comment on theirs. Okay, so that's the thing that I will be grading this Sunday night. So again, you have to have that posted before midnight on Sunday, and then I'll start grading those assignments next week. So that's the only thing that's going to go into the gradebook this week is this blog prompt. So please make sure you get that blog set up. Introduce yourself, put an introductory post. I've had a couple of students who've done that already, so thank you for those of you who have sort of jumped on that assignment right away. And for the rest of you, don't worry. You have the rest of the week to get this done. The other thing that I want to make a quick note about, and pardon me while I sort of pull my screen down so you can see this, is anytime you have questions, we're not using the discussion boards formally for any graded assignments, but I am going to use the discussion boards informally. So if you click on this and you click and go to this question, you can hit reply to this and you can type in a question you have. So anything about the content at all that you don't understand or you need more information about, or there's something that you would like me to address and you don't want to necessarily send me an email about it, or maybe other students might be able to address, you can go ahead and post that here. So this is just another place where you can ask questions. You can always, of course, feel free to contact me directly. Remember, here in the syllabus, we've got the syllabus here, the full schedule of what we'll be doing. This is also where you're going to access office hours. So starting tomorrow night, if you have questions, you're more than welcome to log on here and to ask me any of those questions that you might have. And then my contact information you can always find under faculty information. So this is my phone that sort of rings me here at Harper. You can leave a message if I'm not here, or you can of course drop by and see me anytime if you happen to be on campus any of these days. All right, so I think that's going to do it for our first, let's not go there. Here we go. That's going to do it for our first weekly announcement. I'm going to put this information on the blog as well. So I'm also keeping a class blog with that I'm going to update with information as we go along as well. So this first week, get through those lecture videos. At the very least, get that blog put up, that account, and respond to that blog post. And if you can do the Connect assignments and the module quiz, that's fantastic. If you can't fit those into this week, I understand, but try to stay on top of those as much as you can. And don't hesitate to ask me if you have any questions. All right, we'll see you guys next week. Good luck.